Hello friends, and welcome to another episode of Nunu Jungle to Challenger. We are currently Diamond 4 with 52 LP. I don't know if that's updated. No, we're Diamond 4 with 73 LP. So, we just had a really nice Nunu game where we went 0-0-15. So, no kills, but no deaths either, and 15 assists. And I wanted to go over this game because I found it so interesting how I did very little damage to the enemy. So as you can see, I only did 2.7k damage, right? Which is less than a third of the next person. And I contributed to the whole team a very, very small amount of our total damage. So I inflicted 2.7%, as you can see, of our total damage, when I should be contributing close to 20%, or so you would think, right? Most champions you would expect to contribute that much. So I wanted to go over this game to kind of show you how, I mean, don't get me wrong, there are games as Nunu where I do a hell of a lot of damage. And Nunu can be a bit of a damage monster with his E, with Liandry's, with his ultimate combined, you know, he can really put the hurt on. But I wanted to go through this game because it's an example of a game where I don't do that much damage, but I still contribute heavily to our victory through different things. So let's go ahead. Actually, I think it's easier for me to go through this way, isn't it? So we'll go into the match history. I'm still really liking Nunu. He's very, very strong. It's so fun to play. I think what went really well for me this game was just being cognizant of what the enemy jungle is doing, and pretty much just focusing on that. So we'll load up the client now. I think for while I'm waiting for this to load up, guys, I might just talk about some other stuff. I think I might do some analysis of another Nunu player at some point. So I know that there's a Korean Nunu, potentially the best Nunu in the world, or at least that's what I'm currently thinking. And he never buys boots on Nunu, or if he does, he only buys boots 1. Okay, so that loaded really, really quickly. But yeah, so I might do an analysis on his game, potentially. I'm not too sure if you guys would find that interesting, but maybe I'll go ahead and do that, even for my own personal interest, because it's you know, it's a pretty crazy way to play the game, you know. And he's master in Nunu only. He's got great stats. So we'll bring up the scoreboard real quick, just so you can see itemization. But I'll probably put this down. I don't really like the scoreboard being up all that much. So let me pause it real quick. So I could see Kha'Zix here, and I think I caught a slither of Zyra as well. So I was just representing here, so I was just showing that I was here and playing around. Now, I was a little bit worried that they could be 5-manning and Zyra could just walk in and snare me and whatever else. So I just played it real safe, chilled. She went ahead and warded, which I don't think is a great play. But anyway, after representing here, that basically gives the enemy the illusion that I'm going to start here, right? And I decided to switch it up this game. I thought, you know what? I'm going to run over and I'm going to go and invade. So I went like kind of the long way in case I got seen by Orianna mid. I ping it. Darius was defending. You see, he was defending here. So he wasn't... This guy didn't play it bad, but I guess he played it bad because he went too early. So there's no reason for him to beat. Like, he's wasting potential here, right? He's gaining no information by being here. He's just standing here for fun. So he should have really waited. If he'd have just waited 10 seconds like now, I wouldn't have been able to invade. And that could have potentially, you know, swayed the whole game. So I get the leash. I steal the red. I don't use smite. I could have potentially gone and done his chicken and stolen his chicken here. But going solo against the Kha'Zix is kind of dangerous, and if Orianna's on the ball, get it, Orianna on the ball, it can be a little bit problematic. So we're just going to go ahead, clear our jungle on this side. I'm not entirely sure why Kha'Zix took this route. It's an interesting route. I mean, I know some people do play like this. They want to clear that top side and then clear the bottom side. But I really think being level 3 with red buff is the best way to go at top lane, especially with Kha'Zix. So anyway, we get our blue. Kha'Zix at this point sees that our red's gone. So his red is gone, sorry. And so he just goes here. I don't know if this is a misplay. I guess it's too late for him to come over to my blue. But I'm thinking maybe he'll come over to my blue. So I'll just ward it and I'll just play it safe. because bot lane's really pushed in. I'm kind of safe here. I don't need to worry about them doing anything. And again, I'm just going to continue with the clear. I think the next thing that happens is I see Kha'Zix top, but we'll see. So, okay, yeah, so Aurelia gets a kill top, which is obviously really good for us, right? Aurelia has heal, which is kind of interesting. So we see Kha'Zix go top, he pops the heal, and then he gets the flash off, so he's all safe. And then once I see Kha'Zix top, that's my invitation to go into his jungle. Now, obviously, usually, if he would have gone blue, wolves, red, his Gromp would have been up and I would have been able to steal his Gromp. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. So, although I'm here and I could have taken both of these camps if they were spawned, they're just not available. But what I can do is just pop this. I should have probably popped this in retrospect, just to get rid of the potential for Kha'Zix to get into that brush. So Kha'Zix counter jungles me here, which is, you know, totally fine. It's what he should be doing. But I certainly feel that me losing Gromp is not that big of a disadvantage, considering I got the double red buff and a lot of control over the map. So essentially, we've had knowledge of what Kha'Zix is doing for quite a while. I was a little bit concerned that he would go to Gromp now, because Gromp would be the only camp that spawned. But I figured with speed and my level 2 consume, I could probably get it. So it looks like Kha'Zix goes to ward for... Oh, it looks like he's going for a gank. So Kha'Zix is going for a gank mid here at the moment, and all I'm doing is just taking his Gromp. Right, and so keeping this seed up was actually kind of beneficial, because if Kha'Zix came here, my theory was I could just jump over the wall, bot lane was pushed, and I was all fine, right? So I guess now I decide it's a good time to pop the... I don't even know what it's called. But pop that thing. And then I'm standing here. The reason why I'm standing here is I think I saw Kha'Zix mid here on this ward, and I figured that Kha'Zix could potentially come bot through Tribrush, and my trinket was almost up, and I was like, well, I should probably pay attention to that. So I thought I'd back in the brush, but then I was like, oh, I've got 1300 gold, so I kind of want to do another camp. So I do go and start with the other camp. I'm surprised that Kha'Zix didn't come bot here. I mean, I think that's a good position for him to gank. Lucian doesn't have much mana. Karma doesn't have much mana. There aren't many minions pushing in. I don't know why Kha'Zix didn't come down for a gank. That would have been a very potent gank there. So I kind of predicted something that he should have done, and he didn't. Anyway, my trinket came up, so then I went and warded Tribrush just to kind of give them a bit of vision. I've started not clearing this camp out as much as I used to, because it just takes so long. But I needed to get the gold, I think. And I'm not too sure what I'm doing at the moment. I think I'm just playing around, thinking maybe I can get into the brush, get off an E or something. So we do come bot. Karma goes for the flash just to make sure that the stun lands. We run in. We're just auto-attacking here. We've got red buff, remember. Oh, we did have red buff, so we've lost it. But we're still really strong. We can still tank turret hits. So I'm going to tank one more turret hit, get pretty low, but Lucian just finishes off the kill. And then I ping the team back just in case Kha'Zix is somewhere. So Kha'Zix could have done wolves and then came down. I'm surprised Kha'Zix didn't come down at any point for this whole entire period. But I guess maybe he just wanted to secure his red respawn. So we go back. We look at the scoreboard. We've got Kha'Zix has got quite a bit more CS than us, but it's kind of deceptive. I think if I press X here, we've got exactly the same gold. So I guess the 2 assists that I got do come into play there, but he's 20 gold ahead of me, and that's really nothing, right? So up until this point, we've really helped out bot lane. We got bot lane a double kill. We haven't really helped out mid lane or top lane, but we have helped them out by counter jungling the red at level 1, right? Which means that Kha'Zix doesn't have that gank potential. Like, Kha'Zix with red buff is so potent. Like, I can't think of many champions that can 1v1 a Kha'Zix solo with a red buff, right? Because he just does so much damage, and red buff gets the slow off as well. So we kind of helped the lanes through doing that. And then now we're just going to go back to farming, get this side. Our goal now is to get level 6 pretty much as quickly as possible. Blue buff's about to spawn, so I ping it on Victor. On this camp here, I kind of didn't use much mana, and I'm not using much mana here. The reason why is because I'm going to give blue over, so I want to kind of keep full mana just in case stuff goes down, you know, because I don't want to be caught with low mana. So it means my clear's a little bit slower, because I'm not just blood boiling myself all the time and using E's and that kind of stuff. So I get level 6 here, Aurelia dies, so my job is just to hold. I've helped out mid lane here by giving him blue buff, and he's done well to control that side brush here and get the pink in. And so he's fine mid. And Kha'Zix should really be looking for something to do right now, right? But because I'm top, but there's really nothing that he can do. But top had to back, so it's not like he can really pick up any tower damage or anything like that, because Darius just didn't have anything ready to go. So I back here. I guess so. What my feelings were at this particular moment was, I don't want Kha'Zix to get any material advantage over me whatsoever, right? I don't want this Kha'Zix to get kills, because Kha'Zix can snowball, right? He's a really dangerous champion. I've said this in a couple of other videos. I really don't like playing against Kha'Zix. I think he's very strong. He's sometimes hard for me to deal with. He can pick up kills. He's like a poacher in soccer, And so he almost goes down here. The reason why this is important is because now I have vision of him, so I can kind of play around that. But maybe I don't play around that. Oh no, I do. Okay, so what I do is, because I see Kha'Zix is low here, and then I see Orianna going this way, I figure that Orianna is getting blue, Kha'Zix is going to be really, really low, which he is, he almost dies. And I figure, well, look, this is just a perfect opportunity for me to get Dragon. There's no way that Kha'Zix is going to get this. They probably don't even know that I'm doing it. So this is how I'm helping out lanes, right? Kha'Zix is essentially nullified at the moment because he's on low health. So I just go ahead and get us a Dragon, which is what you want to do as Nunu. A pink ward here obviously gives us a bit of vision, helps out in the mid lane, keeps him safe on this right-hand side. And then what I do is just do a bit more clearing. It's always important, guys, to keep your own farm up. Like, you want to make sure that you're constantly farming and keeping gold ahead. Because sometimes, when I was playing J4, I constantly got it into my head that I needed to be ganking 24/7. And sometimes it's not appropriate to gank. Like, it's just not a good thing to do. So, again, I just clear out. I was coming bot here to kind of do something with Lucian, and then Lucian disconnected, so I'm like, oh shit, what's going on there? We see Zyra clearing, and so Karma here's like, let's go and kill him. And so I don't want to show myself here, but Karma gets the zone, so Zyra's forced to run around, right? And then I figure we'll get this, and then we can just invade here, right? Because they have no vision around this area, or they potentially don't have any vision around this area. So what we can do is, we can jump in, we can just kill this Ezreal with relative ease. Karma's tanking the turret, I come in, get a snowball off, but I don't even know if my snowball did any damage there. I got the assist just from the W. It's a shame that I didn't tank the turret, and that Lucian did here. I think he lives. Okay, so he pops the heals and he lives. So what we're doing now is we're just shoving this turret. So the way we helped there was just helping to zone Zyra from being able to get here, and that gave us a 3-man bot. I could have, if I really, really wanted to help the team, I could have given Lucian solo XP, but I figured, you know what, sorry, solo gold, but I was like, you know what, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. So at this point, we see that Viktor gets ganked, and Karma and I are on the ball. Now, we have this little thing up, right, which is really, really useful. That little player made 40 seconds ago just to consume smite this before we went into this brush now means that Karma and I can get into this fight a lot quicker. Look, I'm running into this fight with 523 movement speed. So Kha'Zix at the moment is like, I don't really know what to do because he's getting zoned by Karma. And then we're just going to flash, we're going to ulti on top of Orianna, and then Viktor comes in and just picks up the kill. Karma's zoning Kha'Zix, and Kha'Zix is really, really, like, and Karma's doing a really good job here to kill him. And then, obviously, Aurelia just gets the flash over and continues on the journey. So, the way we helped our team there was literally just killing this scuttler, like this Rift Scuttler. That Rift Scuttler literally turned Orianna being able to kill Viktor and get away. So it turned a 1 kill, 1 assist for their team into a 2 kill for us situation. And just purely through that. And also, of course, I got the gold for it as well. So this is like the situation where you really help your team, right? This is what Nunu does. I helped Karma get into the fight. And obviously we're going to do the same thing here. We're just going to kind of bully. Viktor needs to be a little bit careful that he doesn't get killed. But we blew the flash just by having presence, just by having control. And now I'm pinging Rift Herald because I'm thinking, We just killed a couple of their guys. Their jungler's down, their mid's down. It's probably going to be pretty easy for us to get this. Nunu has a really good Rift Herald. He can solo it. It's kind of ugly with the animations. One thing I'll point out here is I didn't dodge the animation here, which means I took a little bit of damage. But I will dodge the animation on this next attack. So you see I move around, because this is like a choreographed attack if you've ever played like an MMO that works like that. So we just finish off the Rift Herald. We grab the buff. I don't know if we back at this point. But essentially, once you get Rift Herald, you want to be buying as soon as possible, and then you want to be forcing something. The reason why is because when you force something, you can summon the Herald, and then you can go ahead and you can just get free turrets with it. Herald's really strong early game. You know, like 13 minutes, this is a pretty quick Herald. So we can just go ahead here. I'm going to give blue over to Viktor. So the great thing about Nunu is I don't need buffs. And if my mid's good, I'm just going to turn around and say, here, you have the buff. So I'm helping Viktor there. I think I was like, we could go top and maybe get a gank, but I didn't do that. So I figured, well, okay, I'll just get the Scuttler and we'll see what happens. I'm getting ward coverage here, so I really like picking up Tracker's Knife, and I still get it. The Korean guy I was talking about earlier, he goes for the challenging smite, but I really think that I like having warding a lot more, especially with some supports not like really going Sightstone so early, like for more AP based like Brand and those kinds of champions. Vel'Koz especially a support, but I'm not really getting those anymore because this is like a bit of a higher elo, so we're not seeing that so much. So I'm just coming in here, I'm getting off a bit of harass, I'm just having presence so Viktor doesn't feel like he's being forced out of any bad position. I get pretty low here and I was worried slightly about dying, but it's good because I've got the refillable potion, and then so what happens here, Aurelia starts mad spamming Kha'Zix because she sees that he's low. I don't actually know if it was my ward that caught that. Was it my ward that caught that? Let's have a look. So I think it is. Yeah, so this ward that I put down, right? You know what I was saying about like Nunu, how Nunu contributes to the team? This ward gives Aurelia vision. And so she's like, well, look, I think this guy's just going to transition over to doubles. He's low, he's got red buff. I'm going to go on top of him. So that's exactly what she does, and she gets the kill. And what I've done in this meantime is just consume here and smite just to get the kill. I didn't finish off the camp because I need to have more presence. This is a bit of a clown fiesta, what goes on here. The enemies, we've got really good control around this jungle with like a great pink ward here. We've got a ward here. So this is really strong for us. And I'm like, well, I can be a part of this, but I think the team's got it because Ezreal's bottom. So it's a 3v4. We're ahead, so they probably don't need me. So I'm like, I just want to go mid at this point and just summon the Herald and just really snowball this game, right? Just get vision control. So again, I'm going to do the supporty Nunu thing here. I'm going to summon the Herald. I kind of push and I'm worried about the team dying, so I kind of go back and forth because I don't want to be that guy that after my team gets 4-man killed, that they're just pinging like, where was Nunu? But we do a good one, we get the Rift Herald down, we get the first turret, and we're just pushing these minions at this point. We're blood boiling on the AD carry, so we're just giving Lucian the blood boil. We're walking up, we're having presence. I get an EO and Orianna, and I'm like, I kind of want her dead, so I just go ahead, ulti on top of her, and then let Viktor finish off the kill. I kind of tanked the turret for another shot there, which is really annoying and kind of triggering, because that shouldn't have happened. At this point, I think we're just probably going to buy. The reason why is because Dragon's about to come up, and Ezreal's doing some stuff bot, so I kind of want to get control before they can get control. At this point, we're really, really far ahead, so let's just have a quick look at the golds. So Viktor's got 6.2k, Orianna's got 4.9, so he's 1,300 gold up. I'm 1,100 gold up on Kha'Zix. Top lane is up 1,700, so we're really far ahead at this point. We've got quite a bit of global gold, right? Because we've got 4 turrets at the moment. So we're going to go ahead. I think I do ping Lucian here to come and get this. It's interesting that Kha'Zix is here. If I'd have caught him there, that would have been really bad for them. I'm pinging Lucian here to come and get red buff, but I guess he just doesn't want to get it. He wants to get pressure elsewhere. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just take it. It doesn't really make too much of a difference, but, you know, obviously I could have given that to Lucian. My play here is just to get Dragon, just to get the team more ahead. This is what I do, right? So we go ahead, we get the Dragon, and then, obviously, just keep Blood Boil on Lucian. Lucian's, what's his score at the moment? He's 304, so he's ahead. it's always important when you're in these kinds of situations to still deny. So I'm still going to go ahead and just take this camp. There's not much else that I can contribute to, right? Top lane's probably going to die there. Victor's clearing out mid. There are no turrets there. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just go and get wolves. So I do get wolves. And then I'm going to push bot with Lucian. Because we have the damage, we have the power, we have a cannon minion. I think Ezreal should be killing this cannon minion like as much as possible. But we get a few hits on the turret. As you can see, the kills that I gave to Lucian, the kills I assisted Lucian on getting earlier in the game, combined with control and vision and keeping Kha'Zix down, has meant that this guy is really, really strong. So I do what I always do. I flash ulti in. So let's just replay that real quick. We'll go back a little bit. So the position here is Ezreal's just used ulti. He hasn't got that great of a health. Victor's just cleared out this wave mid. So Victor's like, you know what? I'm going to roam down because I've got position, right? Orianna's here. She hasn't got much mana. She's not in a good position. She can't get here that quickly. They don't have vision at the moment for this. So Victor just comes down. I see this and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do what I do. Flash in, get the ulti off. It gets interrupted, but I've done exactly what I need to do. I bait out the exhaust from Zyra as well. So I've just given 2 kills for our team there, and I've baited the exhaust. Tell me what's better than support Nunu, boys, in the jungle. So we're going to back because we're kind of low on health. It's actually interesting. I got so close to dying like a number of times in this game, but I really wanted to keep that. I really wanted to keep that 0 death game going. So we're going to run it down mid. At this point, we're so far ahead that the team's really like so comfortable with winning. I mean, we're 10k gold up, right? I figured we were going to want to do Baron at some point, so I'll just go back here a few seconds. So while this team's backing, what I figure is I'm just going to get a bit of control. So I'm going to clear any wards that are here. Now, these wards aren't going to give them information when Baron starts, because obviously it's still 2 minutes away. But what information it is going to give us is when they come to reward Baron, right? So preparing to do Baron is also ensuring that the enemy can't check to see whether you're preparing to do Baron. So my job at the moment, what I'm figuring that I'm going to do is just come through here, chuck down some really deep ward coverage and give us control of this entire Baron area. So this is like the holy trifecta, right? You've got a pink ward here, so if they clear these wards, they kind of have to face check in. You've got a ward here which gives vision from these 3 quadrants if you're coming around the back. And I've also got a ward here for if you come through here, right? So one thing to always think about when you're warding, guys, like a really, really simple concept is, where is the enemy going to come from, right? Where's the enemy going to come from in order to do whatever they want to do? And the simple answer in these situations is, well, they're going to come through here, they're going to come through here. It's very unlikely. It's possible that Kha'Zix could go this way into this Tri-Brush and try and steal here, and that's often the steal that I try. Like, that's a big secret of mine, or, you know, if we're behind and I think I can get a Baron steal, I come to the Tri-Brush here, I flash over here, and I try and get it that way. But typically, with a team and whatever else, in most situations, you're going to come through here. So I really like this ward coverage. And so that's my job at the moment, is just to get ward coverage. And I also figure, well, I'm going to help the team not get an escape by hitting this little... What's it actually called? Let's have a look. You can't see the name of it. I know it's got a name in game when you highlight it. But we're going to come in. We don't pop it. Orianna pops it for us. But essentially, that's just one less escape tool that they can use. It's unlikely that we're going to use it. What I'm going to do is hand over blue buff to Victor. Now, I made a pretty interesting decision here not to get this Scuttler. The reason why is because Baron isn't going to spawn for over 1 minute and 30 seconds, and it lasts for 90 seconds. So I was like, we'll give blue buff, and then we'll do Rift Scuttler. So we're handing off blue. Karma's pinging red like mad, because again, we have this ward up. Now, Kha'Zix does sweep it, and he's probably thinking, well, they're not going to come in, but they don't have any ward coverage. And we know that here isn't warded because I put the pink down, right? So again, I've assisted the team here. I've done such a positive thing for us by keeping vision up and denying the enemy vision. This denies any ward that comes in here, or at least Karma knows that it's not warded. We have the ward here so we can see Kha'Zix doing red. Team just comes through and just cleans up the kill. Baron's not up yet, but if Baron was up, we'd probably definitely turn and get Baron at this point. Victor trades 1 for 1, and I think what I'm thinking at this point is just to keep up the clear, keep up the pressure. I should have maybe gone and cleared this, like if I was playing like ultra elite level, but I'm like, it probably didn't really matter. What I'm doing now is just kind of like messing with the Zyra, trying to stop her from getting vision. Again, I think I'm gonna pause it here. I don't want to make this video too long, but I think I want to talk about like quite a few concepts in League that people don't understand. Protecting your pinks is really important, and just letting the enemy walk in and kill your pink like without contesting it at all, not only is like frustrating for you because you've just spent 75 gold to give the enemy 30 gold, but it's also just gives this enemy like the ability and freedom to do whatever they want, right? If you're not going to defend a pink, well then you're going to defend a person, because this pink is really important, right? We already know this pink's really important because it's just giving me so much information that helped us get a kill on Kha'Zix. So my job, oh yeah, one thing to note, you can consume and you can smite the plants, right? So we get a little bit low on health here, a little bit low, not that much low, right? But you know, Zyra does a little bit of damage. Let's have a look at how much health I went down. I don't want to make this video too boring. Is this boring to watch? I don't know. Anyway, this video is for me. It's not for you guys. But yeah, as you can see, I mean, I don't go down too low, but I lose like 500 health. And so what I do is I just consume the plant and smite the other one, and then I heal up, you know, and I'm pretty much back to where we were. So Zyra pops this bubble, which is actually kind of interesting because keeping this up for the enemy team is useful because it means Kha'Zix can walk in here and jump in, right? It's very rare that we're going to be using this. The enemy's probably going to be using it. So I go aggressive on Zyra here because I figure maybe I can get the kill. I get her ulti, and then Kha'Zix comes in. So we have to back out. I was worried about dying here, so I was like trying to play it quite safe. Maybe I shouldn't have gone aggressive on Zyra and just cleared this ward, but I guess denying her ultimate is kind of good. When you're ahead, you not having ultimate compared to the enemy not having ultimate is a good exchange. I think Zyra's ultimate is probably more important than mine. So anyway, I heal up off of those little things, and again, like, this is one of the powers of Nunu, right? You remember like 30 seconds ago when I was like really low and worried about dying? Now I'm back to full HP, right? Just because I got the fruit and just because I consume, right? And it barely cost me any mana. So what we're going to do is go ahead and do this now. This may be a little bit risky, but we've got a ward here. And we've got vision thanks to minions here, so we kind of know where they are, and we probably figure that it's going to be quick enough that we can just do it. Karma's got the sweepers going, so all my job at the moment, the only thing I've got to focus on is ensuring that I consume smite this at the right time. If I don't do this, then they could potentially get a steal, and then the game we probably don't lose, but it could get a bit dicey. So when it gets down to about like 1.7k, I'm just going to Q and then smite. Thankfully, the team helps us. Like Victor comes here and just ensures that he's not going to do that because he's too worried about dying. But I get off the perfect smite ulti combo. So again, I'm helping my team here just by getting Baron, right? So I'm not doing damage at this point. I'm not helping in the damage department. The department that I am helping in is control and helping the team get advantages, material advantages. So we're talking vision, which snowballs into Baron, which snowballs into lanes pushing, blah, 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 whatever else. I do want to point out at this point that my team played really well, right? And we would have probably won this game no matter what jungler I was on. But I do genuinely believe that I assisted quite heavily through the way that I played. I'm trying to remember why I was paused here. I don't know. Something happened. Something happened in real life. So I'm a little bit annoyed that I was just sitting there for no reason. I think I was typing something to the team. Can't remember what. Anyway, these guys are top, and I think they're going to be fine 4v5. Typically, it's important to group when a fight's going to go down, but with Baron, you want to be pushing like lots of lanes. And if because Aurelia's not up here, it's like, you know, they're probably going to play a little bit safer, right? If Aurelia was up here, I still wouldn't go up there, but these guys are going to play a lot safer because not only are they seeing that I'm not there, they're seeing that Aurelia isn't there either. So what you want to do at this point when you have Baron is just split push lanes, right? So I want to just get these minions shoved up here, but I see that we're pushing in for the inhib, so I go ahead and do actually join the team. Minions stay mid, so then I rotate back to mid, so I'm just having the presence here to help the team. Oh, we actually just push in. We're so far ahead at this point, but I guess we could just push in and it doesn't really make that much of a difference. If this was an equal game, maybe we go mid and do other stuff. So, yeah, what I'm doing now is obviously just blood boiling Lucian. That's all I need to do. Blood boil Lucian, hit turrets, make sure the team's safe. smite plants, consume plants. I see Aurelia is close to bot turret here, so we walk down, we empower the minions. Darius is really quick at this point, and I kind of wanted to flash ultimate him just to secure the kill, but I decided against it. I figured it was better just to play it safe, play it optimistically, you know, and just make sure you definitely do win, because we could still throw at this point, right? It's not impossible for us to throw. I do get pretty low at this point, you know. If I get Darius ultied and Orianna ultied, like, I would have died then if they decided to combo me there, which I wouldn't have cared too much about. It would have ruined my score, but it still would have been very, very useful. So again, what we're doing here is we're just blood boiling. One thing I will point out is, how do we switch back to items? So just so you can see the item here. My itemization this game was a little bit non-standard. I usually go Liandry's when I'm sort of going in an even game, because I think maybe I need to do a little bit of damage and be relevant. But because all the lanes were doing so well, I just built a Frozen Heart for cooldown reduction, which means that we can do like stuff like Baron quicker, gets Blood Boil up quicker, gets my E off quicker. So I think cooldown reduction is such an important concept of Nunu's kit, and I don't think I build it enough. I go 10% CDR with blue runes and a what do you call it, rune, and a quintessence rune. And so then we get like 20% CDR. So we're at 30% CDR right now. And then either we can pick up the Kindle gem, which gives us a further 10%, or we can go ahead and just get a blue buff, and that'll give us 40% CDR with relative ease, right? We just need one item and one buff, and typically Nunu can get blue buffs without much contention. So I actually decided this game to go Crucible because we were so far ahead, and I was thinking, well, I'm probably not going to end up doing damage. I take so many turret shots here, and yeah, I should have probably died then. I don't know what I was doing. The team like wants to end, and I think the enemy team should just be like, you know what, we'll let you end, and we're not going to contest it. But the enemy team decides to go ahead and not let us finish. So maybe I could have played that a bit better, but you know, it is what it is. We were so close to finishing. The team just wants to finish. That sometimes happens in League. Like, who the hell wants to back after you've got like 2 inhibs down and there's no turrets left? I go ahead and get Dragon here. The reason why is because why not, right? I've got nothing else to do. The team's dead. So there's the only real material advantage I could possibly get here. I don't even know. Like, I don't even know. I think this is just the best play, right? It's a mountain one, so it's not going to help us at all. And then I see blues up, so I'm like, you know what? I'll just take blue buff as well, just to get that CDR pop in. So now I'm on 40% CDR, which is where you want to be, right? Because then that means that my Blood Boil lasts for 12 seconds. It's on 9-second cooldown, so I can technically have 2 people Blood Boiled. Not going to make that much of a difference. But Ice Blast is now on a 2.4 second cooldown, and it slows for 2 seconds. So essentially these people would be perma-E'd. Again, my job... I also picked up Crucible, right? I think Crucible is quite a useful item sometimes for Nunu. I don't build it every game. Like, I probably only build it like 1 out of every 10 or 15 games. But if my AD's doing well, I always want to go Crucible just to solidify their lead. So again, Blood Boil, we're pushing. I think Lucian gets like caught by a couple of things, and I do use Crucible on him, but I don't think it's enough. Let's take a look. So yeah, I get ulted by Orianna here, and she just does no damage. I'm trying to remember when Lucian gets caught. So yeah, okay, so he gets ulted by Zyra, exhausted. I chuck the Crucible on him to get rid of the exhaust, but unfortunately he just gets killed. And then we just finish the game, right? Because we've got so many minions, we've got so much pressure, the team's not going to be able to do anything. So yeah, I ended this game going 0-0-15, and I did very little damage, like essentially 0 damage, but I feel like we got a heap of control, right? We got a heap of control on the map, and we played really, really well because of that. We kept Kha'Zix down, we counter-jungled him, perhaps not as much as I'd like, maybe I'd like to counter-jungle a little bit more, but we secured buffs, we secured lanes, blah blah blah, whatever else. So yeah, anyway guys, I just wanted to give you a look at this video. I thought it was really, really interesting how I controlled this game, and how as I say, it was like my team was essentially doing like a 4v5 in terms of damage. All I did in team fights was just make sure that Lucian didn't die, right? Just Blood Boil him. The 2 biggest plays were probably the double kill bot lane which was started by Karma flashing in, and then me flashing in after to get the E, and then killing Ezreal under the turret as well. And then also the turret dive bot lane again a little bit later, where I ulti Zara and Ezreal. Victor comes around and we get the kills. Alright, so I think I've spoken for long enough. I'm interested to know whether people prefer this style of game analysis or whether they prefer in-game style of game analysis. So if you have any opinions, I mean, I don't get many people watching these videos, like I really don't, but so make your voice heard. Let me know what you want and I'll continue to do whatever you want, right? Because the people that are watching, I might as well make content suited for them as opposed to content suited for someone else. So let me know, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. I hope it was useful. Have a great day. Thanks a lot.